All right. Another day, another exciting day of the Meet the Speaker interview series that we are doing for the You Are Stronger Than You Think women's event that is coming up in next weekend, actually, for the what we're doing every day from January the 3rd to the 13th is we are interviewing the speakers so that you have an opportunity to meet the amazing women that will be there as speaker/mentors is what I like to call them, who'll be there to talk to you and help you take the next step in your journey. And I am Kendra Tillman. I am the host of the You Are Stronger Than You Think women's event, and I'm also the founder of StrongerThanYouThink.co. And about 3 years ago, I finally got the courage to host a women's event, my very first women's event. And so this will actually be my 3rd year, and I'm so excited. There's plenty of conferences that inspire you, that encourage you, but not only do we inspire and encourage you, we also empower you and equip you with the tools that you need to be able to take that next step in your calling, in your purpose, in your role as a wife, a mother, a woman, just being a woman. You don't have to be a wife or a mother to benefit from this conference. So and for tonight's interview, I'm very excited to have one of our speakers that is going to be a part of our breakout session. But before we get to Stacey, who we're going to be talking to tonight, I always like to start by making sure that you have the website for the event. So the website is, my mouse just disappeared. It's Stronger Than You Think event.com. And yeah, the mouse just disappeared. So it's Stronger Than You Think event.com. So I'm not going to worry about it. But if you go to Stronger Than You Think event.com, it has all the details that you need to be able to get all the information that you need for this event. Now, for tonight's talk, we are going to be talking to Stacey Caron. So about back in 2013, I actually was able to start working at a company called Spellbinders. And Stacey is the founder of that company. And she has been so gracious to say yes to coming along with me and speaking and saying yes to speaking at this event for me. So basically what I wanted to do with her tonight is because she has made some different transitions, and I thought, what better person should we have on to talk to us tonight than someone who can talk to us about how do you reinvent yourself when certain doors in your life have been closed, okay? And when you need to make a transition in your life. And I couldn't think of a better person to talk to us about that than Stacey. So welcome, Stacey.
Hello, Kendra. I'm so excited to be here with you. Thank you.
I'm so thankful that you said yes to me. And because I know that you have a wealth of wisdom, all the years of business that you have, and also the fact that you are a wife and a mother. And I know that the women are going to learn a lot from you. So what I want to start by doing is giving them an opportunity to find out who you are. So I know who you are, but I would like for you to kind of introduce yourself and tell them who you are and kind of where you are right now in your business.
Well, okay. So about, I would say 14 years ago, I got an idea after a serious car accident. I hurt my neck in a car accident to reinvent myself. And that was the first time I had to reinvent myself. I was a dental hygienist and I got rear-ended in a car accident, hurt my neck. And so that changed my dental school plans. And by the time I was in recovery from my surgery, I was still practicing dentistry. I was looking for ways to make extra money. And my hobby at the time was scrapbooking and card making because my boys were small and I was trying to preserve the family memories. Well, in doing so, I started teaching to supplement my income, so I didn't have to have my head bent over someone's face all day.
Right.
And I actually came up with an idea for a product that was not in the market for die cutting and making die cutting more detailed and more beautiful. And so my husband, Jeff, an engineer and toolmaker, helped me develop the very first dies that cut, emboss, and stencil. And then he said to me, well, how are you going to make these cut? And then he handed me the very first universal die cut machine that would allow us to use anyone's dies in our machine, because lots of ladies would come to my classes and they wouldn't have my machine. They would have all different machines and all different dies, and my vision was to create one universal system, so no matter what die you had, you could use our machine.
Mm-hmm.
Then when we got bigger and other companies started to emulate what we were doing, I taught everybody how to use our dies in every other competitor's die cutting machines. So that grew and grew. And about 3.5 years ago, we ended up selling the majority interest of that company after we gained distribution in about 52 different countries.
Wow.
All the big chain stores and all over the globe. And that then threw me into a position where I could then reinvent myself once again. And that's where we are today.
Wow. That is a lot.
That's kind of the short version.
That is amazing. See, that's what, okay, so now you all see exactly what I was saying about why I said that Stacey was the perfect person to talk to us about how to reinvent yourself. So let me ask you this. I know that is what I titled this, right? That is what I titled this because that was what came to mind when I was thinking of you. But did you think of it in that way yourself? Did you think when you hurt your neck, did you think, okay, I need to go reinvent myself? Or what were you thinking as you were sitting there and you came up and you and your husband came up with this idea?
It was really, well, I had taken my hobby, my passion, and because I identified, because I was teaching the ladies in the classes and I saw what they were missing and what they were struggling with. So it was kind of like that lightning bolt moment where you, for the first time, see a need, but then you have somebody in your corner that can help you fulfill the need to make things easier for a group of people.
Yeah.
So then I started to think, wow, this could be a really exciting way to reinvent myself so I don't have to clean teeth any longer. And by the way, I haven't cleaned teeth in over 10 or 11 years now. So
okay.
So
it worked out for you then.
Yeah, because I realized I wouldn't be able to be in that physical position of cleaning someone's teeth my whole life because my neck and my shoulder would hurt a lot.
Right. Absolutely. So you found a way to do something else. And you, I mean, you didn't even, this wasn't, so were you already crafting? Like, were you already creating like the cards and different things prior to?
I was. Yeah. And I was really frustrated because I wanted, say you cut out a flower, a rose, and you want it to be dimensional, or you want the little grooves in a butterfly. I really wanted that detail in what I was creating. I wanted it to look more three-dimensional and more realistic. And at the time, everything looked like a bulletin board in schools where everything was really flat and real childlike. And I wanted it to be more elegant and sophisticated, almost like the Hallmark embossed cards, like things that were real pretty and deep.
Okay. So that's a great point. I'm glad you made that point because, you know, everybody that's watching doesn't necessarily know what we mean by a die. Yeah. So
it's actually a metal template that you run through a machine that will cut out paper or fabric that you would then use in your craft projects. Right.
And like you said, what we're used to seeing is the bulletin board, like the flowers or shapes of animals and different things, and they're completely flat. But what the die cutting machine does and the actual dies themselves, it embosses them and it allows it to have like this dimension. So like when you go into a card store, like, you know, those cards, if you feel the texture of them, it's kind of raised texture. That is exactly what we're talking about. So you kind of help spearhead like this movement of people who were making their cards, right? Making these beautiful, I mean, if you are, I really wish, I might have to pause for a second during this interview because I want to show them a card that's been made with some of these dies, and they are absolutely beautiful. If my husband would reach into my purse, I actually have a card in my purse that was made with some of the dies from Spellbinders. So Spellbinders is the name of the company that you started, right?
And my ultimate goal was to give ordinary ladies at home the ability to make something look very professional without having to go out and spend a lot of money on cards.
Yes, without going out and having to spend a lot of money on cards. So here's an example of something that was made with the die. So I have to do a sample.
Yeah.
And hopefully these are hopefully these are Spellbinders dies that I'm showing Stacey. I'm pretty sure they are. So hopefully.
Well, they are. I designed that die.
Okay. All right. So I'm getting really close. Yep. So see the detail, see all that beautiful detail in there. And if you were in my house right now, you could touch this and you could feel it and you could see that it was raised. And people make the most beautiful creations, not just cards. I mean, I've seen party favors. I've seen actual home decor. The creativity is amazing of what you can do. And it's because of an idea that you had and that your husband was able to help you bring to life.
Right.
You were able to be able to do this. So, okay. So this is your life for the last 10 to 13 years, right?
Yeah. It was really scary because we took every dime we had, all the money for hurting my neck, mortgaged our house, borrowed money from parents, cashed in 18 years of my husband's retirement.
Wow.
And it was all in. So we jumped off the bridge and we took the leap of faith, and failure was not an option. Period.
Right. I mean, with all of that at stake, you're right. Then that failure is not an option, but you still did it anyway. So was there, what made you be willing to put that much on the line for this idea that you had?
I believed in the vision so wholeheartedly that it's amazing. It's like something will overcome you when you come up with something that you feel so strongly about, kind of like you, Kendra, and starting your business. You believe so strongly in what you're doing, nothing can derail you. Yeah. And that actually serves you really well. And you do not let anyone push you off the path, and you don't give up. I was taught perseverance very early in my life, and we just kept at it. And even when we thought we were going to fail, we kept trying, and we just weren't going to give up.
Yes.
That's a hard thing for a lot of people to do.
Yeah. I mean, especially when you have that much at stake, right? When you have that much of your life dependent on this idea actually coming to fruition, right?
Yeah. And you often hear too that startups aren't for the faint of heart.
Yes.
You just have to have a big heart, and you just have to go for it, and you just have to stay steadfast in your vision. And even when people try to knock you off your path, you don't let them do that.
Amen.
And there's going to be people that'll try.
Yeah. And you know what? And it's like, because all the people your lives that you're going to impact because of the idea that you had, right? So there's so many lives, the people that you ended up hiring to be a part of the business, all the people who find so much joy and have like this creative outlet now where they can actually create something beautiful for themselves and for their family. I mean, it just has so much impact on so many different lives, but it wouldn't have had that impact if you would have given up, right?
Correct. And what actually inevitably happened was we changed the entire format of the way the industry die cuts today. So we changed the industry for the better.
Which is amazing.
It was a really amazing ride.
So you are a trailblazer.
I was a trailblazer. Yes, I was. It was fun. It was fun.
And then, okay, so that is like that's been the last 10 to 13 years of your life. So now tell us about now. What is Stacey Caron's life like right now? What are you doing now?
So it's really interesting how life twists and turns and takes all these different avenues when you least expect it, right?
Yeah.
So we sold the company. Yeah. I stayed on with the company. And I still to this day design for the company, but I also work in my own studio. So I'm able to create beautiful products for Spellbinders, and at the same time create beautiful messages for empowering women and helping and mentoring women in business. And then the biggest catastrophic event of my life happened in April. My mother passed away unexpectedly at only 70 years old.
Wow.
And that led me down a whole nother path of discovery and accepting grief. Because even when you build a successful business and you sell it and you think things will go a certain way, there's ups and downs to, selling your company. And I experienced, good things and things that were a challenge, and I had to go through a grief process.
Yeah.
And then got past that and learned the 5 stages of grief and how to mend that and understand there are a lot of different types of grief. It's not just the death of a loved one. It's not just divorce. As a matter of fact, there are 47 different kinds of grief.
Wow.
And to be able to handle that, it's really, really amazing. And so I took some courses on how to help people with grief. And so I've been spending the last 1.5 to 2 years studying all types of ways to handle grief and to get through crisis.
Wow. Yeah. And those are the things. So, I mean, I know when, sometimes when people are watching and we have like certain aspirations and we see other people's lives, right? Yeah. Those are the things in your life that it's great that you built this amazing business, right? But there's just some things that money and achievement it doesn't compare. Yeah.
Nothing compares to, I give it all back to have my mother.
Yeah.
It's interesting how things happen and why. But then that led me onto another path and a different journey, and everyone has a journey to follow. And it's one thing I can say, your little mini skirt, messages, embrace change, right? Yeah. Embrace change. Change is inevitable. It's going to happen whether you want it to or not. And if you resist change too much, you make yourself sick. It becomes more painful and difficult. So having humility and accepting pain is always a good thing.
Yeah. And you know what?
It's hard.
It's hard. And it's like the older we get, the more we realize how much change is required in life, right? And how much your first inclination with change is to resist it, right? It's automatically, I don't want any parts of that. Why are we changing things? Why are we doing this? We've never done it that way, or we've always done it this way, right? Yeah. But if you don't,
change actually brings on fear for a lot of people. So, another message is expect fear. Fear is going into the unknown. I mean, that's what creates fear, and it's natural. I mean, it's a natural part of transition is to have some fear and anxiety. So what I've had to learn is to be kind to yourself while you're going through the transition. Take time for yourself and don't allow the fear to stop you. So dig into whatever it is you believe in as far as your faith or whatever it is that makes you happy. What do you do to de-stress your life?
Yes.
Follow all those things, because if you don't, all that toxic energy is going to build up inside of you and it will eat you from the inside out.
Yes. So is that one of the strategies that you would tell people in terms of reinventing yourself or going through any type of transition in your life?
Yes, I would say that's one of the major things to do, because if you let the stress get to you, you will go nowhere. Right. And you won't have an opportunity to be excited by the change.
And you know what? Sometimes I don't think that people even realize they are stressed, like they may be experiencing stress in their life. Because I think that sometimes your body does tell you physically. So I remember that I had something happen a few years ago in my life. And I remember I had a headache. It was a continual headache for like days and days at a time. And that was not normal. And I went to the doctor and he was saying, you're under a lot of stress. And I was like, really? And he was like, yes. He was like, that's one of the signs or symptoms that you are under a lot of stress. The pain in your body is trying to tell you that you have a problem.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, the pain will be all over your body. It'll be in your chest. It'll be in your muscles. It'll be in your head. It overtakes you. And I've definitely have gone through those types of things, as you know.
Right. Definitely. You have gone through a lot of transition. So what is another strategy? So as you move into this new phase of business, where you aren't, at Spellbinders as much anymore, you're still involved, but not as much as you used to be. So now what's another strategy that you would suggest? Well,
I would say you have to allow the grief to take place, and just be comfortable with the fact that you're going to feel sadness about letting go of what once was.
Mm-hmm.
And then that'll help you get excited about what the new direction of your life will become. And then you surround yourself with positive people, mentors, family, friends, and then you get back to that place where you're determined and you don't let anybody, full circle, push you off the path.
Yes.
One thing, you always have to be ready to expect some setbacks and challenges.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say if you do planning and preparation, it will help minimize
Mm-hmm.
the impact that the challenges will have on you.
Mm-hmm.
Really. So I would say that was a good strategy.
Yeah.
Be prepared.
Yes, I can definitely see how that would be a good strategy. What else? What else would you suggest in terms of strategies for? And honestly, until we're having this conversation, I never really thought about how when you transition from one thing to the next, you may need to grieve the thing that you're leaving, right?
You absolutely
I never thought about that but you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
You go through a lot of different emotions. You go through denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and then finally acceptance.
Right.
Once you get to, and you can go back and forth in all of these inevitably. It can just be a cycle.
Yeah.
And once you decide, okay, I'm ready for the change now, and you get to the point of acceptance, you're always going to hold that sadness, but letting that sadness go away, just letting it fade into the sunset, frees your spirit and your mind up so you can then move forward into the new phase of your life.
Yes.
And it doesn't mean you're not going to experience it again. We're all going to experience it because remember, change is what inevitable. It's going to happen. Your life is always going to evolve and change. So really it's just a mental mindset on how you're going to cope with the change.
So has anyone given you like any type of advice or their own strategies that is something that really helped you? Or do you feel like pretty much for the most part, you just had to get your own, God would just download whatever to you personally but was there anyone that gave you any advice or anything that helped you?
Well, of course, Kim, my best friend Kim, which you know.
Yes.
She really, gave me some really good books, spiritual books to read about it. And I did join a mother-daughter loss group, which was amazing to have other like-minded women going through exactly what you're going through.
Yes.
Situations were different with different ladies, but there were a lot that were very, very parallel and similar. And then I went and now this is just my path, but I went and got a grief certification because I wanted to be able to help other women with different types of grief, whether it's change of a business, a divorce, loss of a loved one, loss of a pet, on and on and on. So that was kind of my goal for the last year. So I was really happy to have done that. So surrounding yourself with other women or other friends and mentors was one way that helped get me out of, quote, my depression, because of course I had like 2 big major changes in a year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Huge.
Yeah.
And then your friends and family. My husband's been a great support. My boys are a great support. And you know what's really interesting? My pets.
Yes.
Samson and Gabriel, just the love of the pets and being able to de-stress with them. The other thing is self-care. You've got to take care of yourself. You've got to walk or do special things with your husband or go on a date or something that makes you happy. Take a bubble bath, whatever it is that makes you happy. Go read a book. You've got to get back to doing that. And don't forget about that.
Yes. I'm so glad you brought that up because I know that is something that we're starting to hear more and more about self-care, right? Because so many people, we kind of wear our busyness as a badge of honor. We kind of wear this whole Lone Ranger mentality, kind of as a badge of honor. And then what happens is we burn out, right? We burn out from those things.
Too. I'll give you a really great quote that I have come up with that I think is pretty cool. Are you a human doing or are you a human being?
Yes.
What are you?
Yes. Yes.
When you really pick that statement apart, and at the end of the day, you're a human being and what you're doing matters, but work shouldn't define you only. You have to have a balance.
Yeah.
Everything in your life has to be balanced.
Yeah.
Because for a while it was off balance for me. It was all about just the work. And now you have to take note and you have to take inventory. And if you don't get yourself back in balance, you'll get yourself sick. And that's not a good thing.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that is such great advice. I mean, again, the reason why I've been calling you all like mentors, right, is because you are further along this path than I am. Like you, for example, are further along this path than I am. And we need somebody that we look at and we say, you know, we esteem like what you've been able to do in business, but we also need you to turn around, look back at us and say, you need to take care of yourself. I know you see this, and this, you see me doing all these things, but what you don't know is this. And, you know, if you don't take care of yourself, this is going to happen.
Yeah. And a lot of times we're so busy taking care of everybody else, we forget to take care of ourselves.
Yes, absolutely.
As women, we do that a lot.
Oh, yes. I mean, I can't think of a woman that I know that
Exactly.
that does that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I cannot think of a woman that I know that doesn't do that. So my husband is checking right now to see if we have any questions for you on social media. So I'm going to give him a chance to let us know there's people. And if a few of the people that are on here, that are on Zoom with us right now, if you have questions for Stacey, feel free to leave them in the chat room and we will ask her those questions. As you can see, she is a wealth of wisdom and you got a great taste of why I wanted her to speak, because she has so much experience, but also compassion and wisdom to share with all of us.
Hatch says, Kendra, you're so cute, so fun to watch.
Okay, questions. Okay, Peterson. All right. So we don't have any questions.
No.
Oh, Linda said to tell you. Can you see Linda's comment?
I can see Linda. Okay. Yeah. She has no mic, but she wanted to say hi. I miss her. Mwah, Linda.
Yeah, she does look great, doesn't she? I was thinking the same thing when I saw you. I was like, whoa, Stacey.
I had to get my life back in check. I had to get myself back in line and inventory and make some changes.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that you were able to share kind of like a little bit of this journey with us. So as I told Stacey, and I've told all the speakers this, is that what we want to do with the interview series is this is what our pastor calls a mini skirt message. We're long enough to cover you, but short enough to keep you interested. And so we are pretty much at the end of our time right now. So before we go, I want to, if you want to connect with Stacey and you want to see her and hear her in person, she is actually going to be on the breakout session panel. So we have a specific session that I am so excited about at the event, where we are going to talk to Stacey and we're going to talk to Jane Spicer of Daphne's Head Covers. We'll be interviewing them. You'll have an opportunity to ask them questions. It's going to be great. And so that's happening at the event next weekend, January the 21st. And I'm going to share with you again, our website is strongerthanyouthink.event.com. And I'm going to go to, so basically what we're doing during this series is from January the 3rd to the 13th, which is tomorrow night. We're giving you an opportunity to get $10 off the regular adult registration when you use the coupon code 2017 strong. So the regular adult registration rate is $59 until this Monday, where the price is going to increase for a short period of time, and then we're going to completely close registration. But if you register before the deadline of January the 13th at midnight, then you can get $10 off a regular adult registration when you use the coupon code 2017 strong, and you can do that at strongerthanyouthink.event.com. So we are going to go ahead and wrap up this conversation with Stacey. So thank you so much, Stacey. I cannot wait to see you next week, and I get to see you in person. Oh, okay. We actually do have a question. So what's our question? Okay. My mother is asking a question. She's watching. Oh, that's a great question. Okay, Stacey. So this is the question she asked. How do you know when you're going in the right direction? So, you know, if you have an idea, a business idea, something that you're wanting to step out and take a next step, how do you know if you're going in the right direction? Like, was there something you knew back when you first started Spellbinders 13 years ago?
I knew I was going in the right direction because I identified a need in a market that wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's how I actually truly knew I was on the right path.
Yeah.
Staying dedicated to it and going through all the ups and downs of building the company, I never lost faith, and I knew that it was so good and there was nothing like it. Eventually it would have to catch on if I stayed at it long enough.
Yeah.
But one thing, when you have challenges and setbacks, you shouldn't take that as a message that you shouldn't move forward.
Yes.
Right? You shouldn't let that sway you if you believe in what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But like what your mom is asking, I happen to know because I had researched everything so much and I knew nothing was there like it.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, yep, it's time for a change. So I was just confident that what we came up with was going to work.
Yeah. And how long did you right away, like when you were saying that the different things that you did financially to grow the business, did you do that all at once, like right at the beginning, or were those things that you did over the course of time?
We never, I mean, this is a great thing to talk about too at the breakout panel, but we had everything that we invested in almost from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, entrepreneurs that are brand new think they have enough money to do what they want to do, and eventually you run out of money. And that is what brought us to Phoenix, and we had a partner, and the partnership ultimately didn't work out, but that partner was able to get us here. And then we were here with that partner for about a year, and then we bought him out of the company. And by then we got enough traction where we started to grow. But it took a good 5 to 6 years before we even saw any positive turn. So I know it's great to say you're going to start a business and you have all these goals, but perseverance is what keeps it going.
Yeah. Perseverance. That's like one of my favorite words. It's one of my favorite words and thoughts and ideas. And it's basically the motto that we live by, is that success is achieved through perseverance.
Absolutely correct.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So, okay, this is good. And I honestly could keep going, but I'm not, because this is like the sample that you get at Costco. So we give you a little taste. And if you
love that
to buy the whole thing, you still can. You can join us on January the 21st, where we will have Stacey, and she will be there. And as you can see, she's very warm, very approachable person. And she's coming because she wants to help you. She's, she's there to benefit you. So thank you so much, Stacey. I appreciate your time.
Bye, ladies. Love everybody.
Yay. All right. Good night.
Bye. Good night.
All right. Bye-bye, y'all.